guys. Welcome to the Astronaut Arcade Podcast, where your space hosts, Andromeda, Ranger, and Cowboy share stories, tips, and the latest information on anything video game related. Today, we will take a chance to introduce ourselves and tell you guys what we want out of this podcast in the long run. So, without further ado, let's officially start the countdown to launch. Alright guys, so this is our first episode. I'll be honest, I think we've all been really excited to start this, right y'all?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and before we get started, I'm just, kind of off the top of my head here, but I wanted to give a special shout out to Native Raider and Sweaty Spooks at the Power World podcast. I feel like they were kind of our inspiration for starting this, and that community over in their Discord, they're a great community. So I just wanted to do a little shout out at the beginning.
Oh yeah, you gotta show them some love,
I'm sure they'll probably also be our first listeners over there at the pod.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm actually going to send the link out to them right after this. But anyways, on our agenda for today, this is our first episode, so I feel like some introductions are in order. We're going to all introduce ourselves, and then we're going to talk a little bit later about what we kind of want from the show. We're just going to have a brainstorm session. It's kind of really laid back. So for introductions, the very first question we have here is, who are you? Tell the story of how you first got into gaming. Who wants to go first? Anybody?
I can go first.
Yeah, go for it.
Hey guys out there, my name is Aralwin Ranger. You guys can just call me Ranger. I first got into gaming when I was very young. I couldn't pinpoint the age, but my mom had the original NES, and she also had the original, I don't remember exactly what it was called, but the original like gray block that Nintendo came out with for their cartridge games, and that was my first intro into gaming. I really fell in love with gaming though when I got that handheld, and I started being able to carry my games with me, and started being able to, find these other, really fun games and like really dive into who I was as a gamer.
So wait, does that mean are you primarily a Nintendo player, or like what kind of consoles do you like specialize on?
Well, I've migrated throughout the years. I've probably played on every console except for PlayStation 5 and the last two updated Xbox Ones. Or I guess XS and S. Yeah, I haven't played on the XS or the S. But that was more when I started getting involved in PC gaming. But no, I've played everything under the sun.
Yes, a PC gamer. I'm not surprised. A lot of them out there. What's your favorite game right now?
Currently, it is Power World.
Good old Power World.
Yeah, I spent, off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure I've spent over 200 hours in that game already.
Hasn't it only been out for 2 months now? Maybe 3 months?
I think 3 or 4, yeah. I think it came out in February. So, okay, that's closer to 2.
For those of y'all who don't know, we all of the hosts here, we all met through that podcast with Native Raider I mentioned earlier. We met through that Discord, and we decided to start this up. So, no surprise that Power World is your favorite game right now. What's your most played game? What game do you have the most hours in?
It is, I'm not sure exactly because I can't look at all of the timing on Steam, because obviously, I didn't play PC forever, but it is probably a very close race between Skyrim and Destiny. And that's like Destiny the franchise, not just 1 or 2.
How many hours would you say you have in those?
So, let me pull it up real quick so I can give actual stats here.
Oh no. If he's pulling it up, we know it's a lot.
It's enough that it is not in the hundreds, and it's probably not even in the thousands.
Great. I honestly don't know how to feel. Like, I'm proud, but also I wish I had that kind of time on my hands.
Well, you also got to remember though, I started gaming and heavily gaming when I was in middle school. So
I give you that one.
There's a little bit of that in there, All right, so for Destiny 2 on PC alone, and I'm clarifying that because I did play Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 on other consoles. and I have 3 different profiles for the game that all have different times on them. But on PC alone, it is 786 hours. I would imagine it's probably closer to 1,500 hours.
Of course. Wow.
And then Skyrim, let's see, where's that at? Oh, it's not pulling up. Let's see. There we go. Okay, and that's wrong. So I would imagine Skyrim is either the same or more, but it's not pulling up on my Steam right now. The only thing I have here is the script extender for if you don't know, it's the thing that allows you to work most of the mods in Skyrim on PC, and it allows you to do a lot of fun stuff with the scripting. But it says I only have 1 minute played on PC, and that is false.
Oh yeah, that's definitely not right.
But also, like I said, like I played both of those games on consoles. I purchased Skyrim on PlayStation 3, Xbox 3, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4, and PC. I purchased it on all those platforms.
Gosh.
And I played it to death on all of those platforms. So it's probably 1,500 to 2,000 hours.
So Skyrim's probably the winner there. I have Skyrim, but I haven't played it yet. I just haven't had the chance to. I got the most recent one, or I know there's multiple games, right? Maybe not.
But yeah, so Elder Scrolls is the overarching series. And Skyrim is Elder Scrolls 5. So there's 4 games that came out before that in the mainline series, but they've also released an Elder Scrolls mobile game. They released an Elder Scrolls MMO. I think they've released a lot of different things for Skyrim, but that we're getting a little off topic here.
No, you're good. I was just curious.
I could talk about it for days. That has to be a full episode.
Hey, and later on when we brainstorm ideas of games we can talk about in our podcast, that could definitely be an option. I just can't contribute much currently because I haven't played it. I'm gonna go ahead and, if y'all okay with it, move on to the next question. I think it's the second to last. Right now, what is a game that is not out yet, but it is one that you are looking forward to getting and playing?
Honestly, I haven't looked a whole lot. I don't have as much time to game these days as I used to, so I'm more invested in the games that I have that are getting updates. But there is a couple of games that are coming out that are RPG, sword and shield style, high fantasy games that I have my eye on. I don't remember the names right this second. They're coming. They're out there.
All right. And where can the lovely ladies and gentlemen in the audience find you?
So you'll be able to find me in the Power World Discord easily. I'm a moderator over there. Obviously, you can find me here in the Astronaut Arcade. At me at any point in time. I will try my best to answer as soon as possible. You can also find me. I just restarted my Twitch streaming career. I say career, and it's not a career yet. That is speaking into the future. But you guys can find me, all lowercase Araluen Ranger 01, exactly as it is in Discords at Twitch, and that's pretty much the only places you can really find me is Discord and sometimes Twitch.
Yeah, and you can post that your Twitch information on the Discord when we're done with this episode.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right.
I'm going to play a little bit of an Uno reverse card here. And Andrew, I'm going to go ahead and just ask you, who are you? Go ahead and tell us the story of how you first got into gaming.
All right. You got me there. Let's see. So, my story. Oh, gosh. Hi, guys. I'm Andromeda. I'm also a moderator for the Power of Discord, but I don't know. Sorry, y'all. I'm really excited, but also nervous too. So, forgive me if I'm kind of not the best speaker. But my name's Andromeda. You can call me Android for short. Story of how I got into gaming. Okay, so when I was younger, I was also introduced to gaming at an early age. I played, I think the Game Boy was the first for me. Game Boy. Yeah, Game Boy for sure. I played the Game Boy, and I definitely got into DS's and 3DS's, but it was more of Nintendo games. I mean, I know a lot about Nintendo games, and I still play some of them today, but I played Nintendo games back in the day, but I didn't really get hardcore into gaming until I was introduced to the amazing franchise of Halo. That is my very first game I ever played, or my very first game I ever played on a console that wasn't Nintendo that I fell in love with was Halo, the very first Halo. It wasn't just Like, I played it on Xbox One. I played it on the original Xbox. Like, y'all know the order: Xbox, Xbox 360, Xbox One.
Oh yeah.
Now, I played it on the very first Xbox, and that I fell in love with that franchise and immediately found Halo 2, Halo 3, and eventually, the years following that, Halo 4 and Halo 5 came out, and I got into those. It wasn't even the multiplayer. At first, I wasn't into multiplayer stuff. I was more into like, oh, the campaigns, and oh, this is so cool, get to kill aliens, yada yada. Pew pew pew, killing all the Covenant. But I got into multiplayer games a little later, but I've kind of morphed. I started out Nintendo. I got the Xbox, original Xbox One, and I just recently bought an Xbox X because my poor Xbox One was 13 years old and it needed to go into retirement in my attic, so it's there now. But now I've also got a Switch, I got a Nintendo Switch as a gift from someone not too long ago, so I'm getting kind of back into Nintendo. But really, I've jumped around. I play a lot of different games, but my favorite kind of games is probably going to be anything survival. I like survival games, except Minecraft. I'm sorry, I can't get into Minecraft. All you Minecraft lovers, I apologize. I'm sure you guys have fun and put so many hours into it. I'm happy for you. I can't do Minecraft. I'm sorry.
All right, so you're more of a story/survival game kind of player.
Shooters too. I play shooters too. Rainbow Six Siege, Diamond, yes. In Siege, I like Siege, but yeah, survivals, right? Survivals, at least right now. I'm kind of taking a break from Siege, but I play a lot of survivals right at this minute.
So what is your most played game?
Oh God. I preemptively looked because I can't currently look right this minute. I looked, and the most hours I have on any game is going to be a game called Risk of Rain 2. And a lot of people will probably not know what that is. Do you guys know what Risk of Rain 2 is?
I've heard of it, but I've never played it.
Oh my gosh, it is a masterpiece.
Yeah, I've heard some members of my community talk about it before, but I've never played it either.
Okay, so No Man's Sky, okay, for reference, No Man's Sky is my second most played game, 742 hours in No Man's Sky. And I'm sure a lot of people have heard of the story of that game. But Risk of Rain 2, I have 1,700 hours in.
Jeez.
Hours. I've had it since
Wow.
it was even before it was fully released. I've had it since then, and those hours do not count the full Risk of Rain franchise because there's a first game, there's Risk of Rain 1, Risk of Rain 2, and then there's a one that they released that I actually bought on the Switch instead of my Xbox. All three games tally up to almost 3,000 hours total.
That's insane.
Yeah.
You were giving me a little bit of crap for my hours played.
But
Come on now.
I'll be honest, I haven't played them in a long time. Those hours are all accumulated from when I was younger, when I actually had the time, and I was a college student, and I was a college student, but I had a lot of free time. Surprisingly.
Yeah, adulting and responsibilities kicked in. The gaming time went way down.
Yeah, the stocks on the gaming market plummeted after I hit adulthood, and I love adulthood because money, but I also hate it because work, so not as much time there.
So what is your most favorite game currently that you are playing?
My favorite game right now. All right, so most of you guys are probably gonna think I'm gonna say Palworld. Right now, it's actually not Palworld, only because I'm going to deviate and be different. I haven't actually played Palworld in a minute. I'm going to say Starfield, and I'm sure a lot of people out there are like, oh, Starfield's not that great. I'm a space nerd who likes mechanics that like what Starfield has, and I loved Prey when Bethesda came out with Prey. So, and Starfield reminds me of that, but more of like a No Man's... So it's like a mix of Prey and No Man's Sky, and I like that. I haven't played much of it, though. I've only got like maybe 20 or 30 hours in it. So I haven't played it. I've hardly breached the surface, but it's probably my favorite game right now.
And I do want to go ahead and call this out for everybody listening. Andro is the brain that this whole podcast came from. So when you see Astronaut Arcade and you go into the Discord and you see all of our different voice channels and you see just kind of the whole atmosphere of the show, you will understand exactly what she's saying when she says she's a space nerd.
Oh yeah, Space is cool. To quote a certain YouTuber who dyes his hair a lot, Markiplier, he's awesome. If y'all haven't seen Markiplier, 100% recommend you go watch him. He's great.
But okay, cool. So yeah, I've heard good things about Starfield.
Yeah.
What is the game you're most looking forward to that's coming up? And for the listeners, I know we are regurgitating these questions, but this is the easiest way for us to get through this. We have with the three hosts we have.
So let's see. The game I'm most looking forward to is gonna have to be. I caught wind of a Dune survival game that they're coming out with. I don't know if you've heard of it, but if you've ever seen the Dune movies, they came out with Dune 2 not too long ago.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen the Dune movies, you know that it's like on a desert planet, and there's these giant sandworms, and there's bad people they fight. They're basing a survival game um, off of this, and they're building a survival game, and it's going to come out on PlayStation and Xbox, and I think also PC, if I remember correctly. But it's going to be really cool because you don't see a lot of horror games that are in the desert. You really don't. You see a lot of horror games that are water based, probably because of the popularity that Subnautica got, But you don't see any that are desert based, and so it's something different. I'm excited for that.
The Dune movie. I'm not a huge like sci-fi space kind of nerd. I'm more of a high fantasy nerd. But that actually sounds really interesting. I didn't hate the Dune movies, but I didn't really like get super into them. Like, if it had been a new Lord of the Rings movie, I would have dived into it. But
I love Lord of the Rings. It's a good movie too.
So, but no, we should probably think about making that a channel in the Discord. Upcoming games,
that'd be cool.
And then have something like we can put in games that we're interested in, and community can do the same.
Shoot, we should make a whole episode just on movies. I know it's a gaming podcast, but it'd be cool if we had one just where we talk about our favorite movies.
Yeah. Well, that's
have
all
a spoiler tag on that one.
So, where can people find you outside of this podcast?
I'm gonna be 100% real. I work. Let's see how many hours I'm working. I probably work close to like 40, 45 hours a week, 50 hours a week. So I'm pretty busy. So I do apologize if you guys try to contact me and I don't answer right away. I'm pretty busy. It was a hassle for us just to find a recording time we all matched up with, just because my schedule is stupid. But mainly, you'll just find me in the Discord, Power World Discord. I am a moderator in there. Our Discord, I'll be trying to monitor it as much as I can outside of work hours. I'll also have a lot of polls and stuff. I like making polls. It's my favorite thing to do. So you'll see me in there posting stuff every now and then and all that stuff. But yeah, mainly just the Discord, which we'll talk more about near the end of the episode.
Yeah. So do we want to tag team Cowboy over here and make him switch his head back and forth, figuring out who's talking to him, or you want to just go ahead and take that?
Oh yes. God.
We need to ambush him. Okay. All right. Ranger, who are you? Tell us.
You mean Cowboy?
Or I'm sorry, Cowboy. It's what I meant.
Oh, I'm so hurt.
I'm sorry, Cowboy.
All right, getting the blooper reel started on episode 1.
Oh yeah, guys. Look, I'm a jokester, but I also am someone who does something stupid every 5 seconds. So this is also a humor comedy show. Just so y'all know, we should tag that in our podcast on Spotify.
Absolutely. What's up, everybody? I'm Cowboy.
Yo.
Fun fact, I have been Cowboy Dizzy and called Cowboy since the original Xbox. I have had the exact same gamer tag for over 20 years.
See, that's more a flex than a fun fact. Like that's a flex right there.
That's impressive, because I've swapped between like 3 things. Like, I used to be Dewdrop. I used to be Dewdrop 23. Used to be my gamer tag, and then it changed to Haley Bug, and then it changed to now it's Andromeda. So, gosh, that's a flex.
Yeah, I've always had the same name. I've been called Cowboy since I was a kid. And it's always just been my thing, And I'm Cowboy. I'm the owner of Purgatory Lost Gaming. I met these two through the Power World Podcast Discord. Met Andromeda on the Power World Discord server, and we all just, kind of hit it off, and we talked about everything, and came to this point where we're hosting this podcast, and I'm super excited to see where we're going with it. I'm happy to be a part of it.
We are too.
Now, quick, tell us the story of how you first got into gaming.
Oh, first into gaming. So, I was living with my dad at the time, and he had an old school PlayStation 1. I was 8 years old. The first game I ever played was Twisted Metal, and I was just hooked. I loved racing around them little cars, blowing each other up, and I didn't get to play games much as a kid, but that's what really started it. And then, I just started growing my gaming from there, from Splinter Cell to Metal Gear Solid, all the original games, because I'm so old.
So would you say you're more of a AAA gamer?
Oh, absolutely not. Honestly, I love little indie games. They've always been like my heart and soul, but when it comes to certain games, I will always be diehard true fan. Like Final Fantasy franchise, and I've played almost every Final Fantasy game there is, except a new remake, because I haven't bought a PS5 yet, and I'm trying not to, but it's very tempting.
Another Final Fantasy weirdo. That's great.
Oh, yep,
I'm just
absolutely.
messing with you. I have a lot of friends who play Final Fantasy, and I don't know anything about it, and I've never played it. I'm just picking fun. For those of you out there who don't know, I pick fun at people when I like them.
She's never picked fun at me.
Oh no!
What's that supposed to say?
Well,
your name's weird, Cowboy. There, I did it.
One of the cool things about Final Fantasy that I've always respected is, when it as a series, most of its games have always been at like the forefront of graphics and game mechanics. They've really put a lot of time and effort into those games. They've had some flops, like every game, but you can tell that they take that series seriously, and I respect that.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but they were one of the first groups of people who, when they mainstay storyline games, created an MMO, right?
Yes, they came out with Final Fantasy XI. Yeah, it came out on PS2. I remember it was $20. My grandparents would not let me buy it, and it was a great game. It was when I finally did get it, it was a great game. And then 14 came out and just blew 11 out the water.
So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Final Fantasy is going to be your favorite game, and it's going to be the one you most played. Am I right, or am I not right?
We'll wait and see. No, Final Fantasy X is definitely my most played game. I've definitely put well over, I would say, I've been playing it since I was 8 years old. Because it came out when I was 7. I've been playing it for 22.
Woo!
And so I'd say I definitely have well over 5,000 hours into it.
Of how we went in order, and we started with, oh, yeah, this many hours, and oh, wow, this many hours, and now we're at, woo, this many hours. Just going in order here.
If we ever get my buddy Undead on the podcast and you hear his ARC hours, that'll blow us all out the water.
That bad, huh?
I'm going to do some quick math here because I'm a little curious about that 5,000 hours.
Yeah. Out of 22 years.
So we divide 5,000 by 24. You have played a consecutive 208 days on that game. You have almost played an entire year's worth of days in one game.
Yep, that actually sounds low in my opinion.
Wow.
But yes, when I first got the game, I would literally play. I would never turn the game off. I remember when I first got the game, I played for a week straight. My PlayStation never turned off. I would take a nap, and then I'd get back up and play again. It was wild. I remember it was summer when I got the game, so I just left it on, would take a nap, get up, play some more. Yeah, I love the story. The story of Final Fantasy X, in my opinion, is one of the best stories in gaming, and it's the graphics at the time were just so far above and beyond. And to go from low poly characters like they had in 9 and 7 and 8 into true 3D characters with good graphics and beautiful cinematics, at least for its time, it was just a top tier game.
So is it also your favorite game, or is it only your most played?
It is my favorite game. Well, for my favorite game, it is stuck between Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy VII. I've almost played Final Fantasy VII. Yes, absolutely. I've played Final Fantasy VII almost as much as Final Fantasy X. But as far as that goes, yeah, Final Fantasy is always going to be my most favorite franchise.
So what is the game you're most looking forward to? Is it another Final Fantasy title that they've kept on the down low and announced very little about?
No, so actually my most looking forward to isn't really a game as much as it is a DLC. And that is going to be the new Elden Ring Shadow of Erdtree. I am so looking forward to that. It is going to be introducing a whole new world to Elden Ring, and that's just something I love Elden Ring. When I got it, I played it just as manically. I never got off of it. I actually 100%ed Elden Ring in 3 weeks of getting the game, and yeah, I'm insane
serious?
when it comes to games. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Currently, my character on Elden Ring, I think, is a little over level 4. I haven't played it in a while, but it's a little over level 400 with a New Game Plus 7. Yeah, 7 or 8.
I never even got to New Game Plus, so you've got me beat.
Kudos to you. And
yeah,
where?
So I'm looking forward to that.
And I'm moving us along here. Where may the people find you?
I can be found in the Astronaut Arcade podcast server. I'm also, like I said earlier, the owner of Purgatory Lost Gaming, where we have a D&D and gaming server. So I can be found through any of those. I'm not as active in the Power World official server as much anymore because he got a little trolly for my taste, but I still love it.
Oh yeah, they're trolly over there. I got a whole story to say about that, but I'll save that for another episode. But for right now, guys, we're gonna take a quick intermission. So go to the bathroom, do what you need to do, and we'll see you in a few minutes. All right, welcome back, y'all. So now we're going to kind of shift gears from, we introduced ourselves, it's great to meet you guys. We're excited to get to meet y'all. We're going to kind of shift gears to kind of like a brainstorming session. We're going to talk about, what are some things that we want to do? What are some episode topics we want to talk about? We're just going to kind of brainstorm about that. If that's okay with you guys, of course.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to what's to come. For sure.
All right, so some things I have. I'm going to share them with y'all, and then I want to hear from you guys. Some ideas I have is for episodes, we could talk about upcoming games. Like, just as an example, maybe we can read a review or we can read a synopsis about that Dune game that's coming out, and we could talk about the release date, the consoles it'll release on, how well do we think it'll run, some possible mechanics that are in it based on footage. But we can maybe do some episodes here and there about upcoming games or like games that people are excited about. What do y'all think of that idea?
I think it's great, perfect to talk about. It's a great topic. Everyone wants to know if a game's worth buying before they buy it. I mean, that's always been a thing. Reviews are definitely one of the biggest things that people look at when it comes to games. Nowadays it's YouTube reviews, but podcasts are definitely a good way as well to get that information out there.
Yeah, and it's also kind of like a one-stop shop, right? So we've got 3 different gamers here who all game on different platforms and
different games, might I add. We all 3 of us play very different game styles here.
Yeah, exactly. So like getting that feedback on it'll be very, very good for a lot of people who are like, well, yeah, cool, this game is on Xbox Game Pass, but I'm only hearing about people talk about it for Xbox users. I play Game Pass on PC, so like, what is a PC player's perspective? So I think it'll be really good conversation points for us to be able to like discuss what's coming up in the new in the communities.
And for future reference, on the Discord, I have different channels, text channels for different gamers. So like there's a PC section, there's an Xbox section, there's a PS4 or 5, PS Series section, and then there's one for Nintendo. And I put Switch on there, but it's any Nintendo. And I think for future reference, my main platforms are Xbox, like the recent Xbox. And then Nintendo Switch. Those are my platforms. For everybody else's information, what are y'all's main platforms that you guys know or game on?
Oh, yeah. I play on PC and Xbox. I used to play on PlayStation, but I haven't got invested in the new PS5 or PS4. So that's kind of in the wheelhouse of what's gonna happen soon. I'm definitely gonna be branching out to that because, like I said, I am a Final Fantasy nerd, and I have not played Remake yet, and that's murder.
What about you, Ranger?
So I have played all of the consoles and am perfectly open to doing any research for all of them. My mainstays are PC and Switch. Switch just because it's on the go, and I
Didn't
can
know you were playing
game
Switch.
not in the house, and PC for when I have time like this, recording the podcast and able to just sit down in front of my computer for hours and not do nothing.
Okay, that's good to know. So we don't have like a solid PlayStation player. So maybe in the future we can invite someone who is PlayStation when we talk about a specific game. Because I know PlayStation does a lot of specifics, like specific games just for PlayStation, right? Like the Spider-Man game,
Yeah,
and
they
stuff
they
like
do
that.
have a lot of titles that is Sony specific. Spider-Man is definitely one of them. And there's a lot of companies that have signed exclusivity deals with PlayStation and Sony. Again, like I said, I've played PlayStation up until the PS4, and I have not gotten the 5, so I am not quite on the current up to date with PlayStation. But I am absolutely willing to do that research if we have questions there and kind of help that out until we get somebody who is a little more savvy.
Oh, you're totally good. We'll probably invite some people here and there. So if you guys are ever interested in coming on, we can try to work something out at some point. Just let us know in the Discord. Now, I will say another idea I had was, and I know you remember when I talked about Risk of Rain 2 earlier. I think we should talk about games that aren't very well known, like maybe like some old gems that used to be big. Maybe not Halo, because Halo's a big one, but maybe some old gems out there that are older games but still reign supreme. Or maybe we could talk about games like Risk of Rain 2 or games that just aren't very well known. I don't not the AAA games, the ones that are like little indie games. What do y'all think
Oh
of
yeah,
that?
and I
Absolutely.
love that idea. A whole episode of just talking about obscure games would be fantastic.
Oh,
I already have a few topics in mind,
I've got
and
one game that you both played the original Xbox, correct?
mhm.
Yeah,
I
a
have a
long time
game.
ago.
I have a game that a lot of people have probably forgotten about. Fusion Frenzy.
It rings a bell, but I don't know. I don't remember if I ever
Okay,
played.
this is awesome. So, I was a younger kid. I was like around 10 years old when the Xbox came out. So, Fusion Frenzy was the demo game that came with every single Xbox console that you could play without a disc in, which at the time was almost unheard of. So if you look up a video of it, I am absolutely certain you will know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well,
But
let me hold that thought. Let me bookmark it. Let me write this down, and maybe we can save that for one of our episodes. Is that
yeah,
okay? Because I know you want to get into it. It sounds like you're wanting to get into it. I want to have a lot. I want to have plenty of time so you can. So I'm gonna write that down right now. Actually, is that okay?
yeah, no, absolutely. I wasn't gonna actually dive into it right now. I sound uppity about it because it was a
It's
very
exciting.
good game for me, and I'm excited about it.
No, you're totally fine. So what's it called again?
Fusion Frenzy.
Frenzy. Okay, I'll have to do some research on that one. It sounds familiar, but I don't think I've played it. Okay, so y'all like that idea about the secret gems that not
Oh,
many people know
Oh,
absolutely.
about. Okay, awesome. I'm glad y'all like that. I also had another one. Okay, so this is just an idea for. This is probably way down the road. I was thinking, what if we had an episode that was a debate episode, and it was like console wars. Like we talk about the pros and cons of like Xbox and like Xbox and PlayStation. Like what that's the ultimate argument, right? Like which one's better, PlayStation or Xbox? And you get people who are like, "Oh, Xbox is better," and then you get people who are like, "Oh no, PlayStation is way better." And what if we had an episode that was dedicated to maybe we can do a few episodes. We can do like PC versus console, or we can do Nintendo Switch versus maybe other Nintendo device. I don't know, it's just an idea.
I think that would be great. Get some people on the show, talk about their experience with their gaming systems as well. And just kind of get a feel of who prefers what and discuss the ups and downs of each console, which is one of my favorite things to do is research. I love reading about stuff, so I would definitely look forward to that.
Yeah, and I have never veered away from a friendly debate as long as everybody going into it knows it's friendly, because I have been in some debates where people were not aware that it was a friendly debate and thought I was being very antagonistic.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be PG-13 on here, not really, but
so I'm gonna tell y'all just a quick secret about myself. I've actually never cussed before, but I'll say something like when I'm like get heated about something. My favorite word I like to use, and I think I took it from a YouTuber, but I don't care. Is hey, I'm fubbernucking angry right now. You better believe me. I have the research to prove it that this is better. So I've never cussed before, but I get heated about stuff. So y'all don't take it personal if I get heated, okay?
I'm gonna do a social faux pas right now. Andro, how old are you?
Me?
Yes.
That's kind of a personal question.
Yeah, and I know you're never supposed to ask a lady her age, but I'm curious now that you said you've never cussed before.
I'm in my late 20s.
Okay, so you're in your late 20s, and not even as a child ever just in anger or because you thought it was cool started swearing.
Okay, so now that maybe when I was in middle school, I let drop one or two words, but I never consistently did it. Maybe the worst I say now is like, oh, what the hell, but I don't really see hell as like a really bad like cuss word. I guess. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the most you'll get out of me. I like to say like stuff like, oh fudge or crapsicles. I don't know. I say a lot of random stuff. So y'all. I mean, I know everybody's gonna be hard judging me when they watch this, but I say a lot of random stuff. I think one time I said, "Oh, what the bew?" I don't even know what bew is, but I say a lot of random stuff.
I don't think anybody will judge you on that.
That's awesome.
I'm the comedy relief right here. I'm the comedy relief.
I can't personally say that because I curse so much that one of my previous jobs put a swear jar just for me, and that alone paid our Christmas bonuses. But
yeah, I think Cowboy and I are part of the
and it doesn't bother
sailor
me. I'll just
crowd.
laugh. I'll just laugh if you do it. It's
I worked offshore, so that's the personality I got. It curse like a sailor.
But so now everybody knows Andro is a true Southern lady, and she does not use those swear words.
Yeah, no words.
I ain't be using no swear words, honeys.
All right.
So sorry, we kind of cut off track there. I don't even know where we are.
We're still just brainstorming. That's why I figured it was fine to take the rabbit hole.
Oh no, we like comedic timing every now and then. That's fine. I mean that's kind of all the ideas I've got. Do y'all have any other ideas?
Yeah, just to piggyback on what you talked about earlier, talking about movies as well, even though we're, a video game podcast. And, like I said, I watch movies every day. I'm an avid movie person. So, having a a day just for that, talk about upcoming movies, past movies, things like that would be fantastic in my opinion, and really good way to break up the monotony, as well as like I said, I own a D&D community. We have a gaming part of our community as well, so it would be great have a session we talk about D&D, because it is a game and it is a popular game. I mean, D&D's been around for almost 40 years and it's still beloved, still new content, and plenty to talk about, plenty to keep a session alive. And like I said, I have a very wonderful group of people in my community that they're very kind, they're very gracious, and very accepting of each other, and I'm sure some of them would love to talk about their experiences with the game as well.
I'm writing this stuff down. So what if we did an episode? We could do an episode where we talk about D&D, or maybe we can host a D&D. Maybe not like do it all the time. Maybe be like, special episode where we have like a D&D. Like we can invite some of our Discord. We can have maybe like a little thing on Discord.
Little D&D one shot.
Yeah, just something small. I've always wanted to play D&D, and I have a character made and everything, but I've just never had the time to play. So that'd be pretty cool. Maybe we can save an episode later down the road.
Not next week,
obviously.
That would be a great special episode. have a little D&D one shot just to goof off and have a good laugh and experience D&D for what it is. And it's just honestly friends coming together to play a game,
And
which
if
is
we
the
want,
essence of gaming.
we can plan our specials. As far as what it would be referred to as our specials, we can plan those for every 10 episodes. We hit milestones. So like episode 10, hey, milestone, we do this thing, or episode 20, hey, milestone, we do this thing, right? So like when we hit the major milestones.
Yeah, I like that a lot, actually. Yeah, I like that idea.
I think that's a great idea. We could definitely, keep that in seasons and, go through the milestones like you said. I think it would be great, have different off topic special episodes.
Yeah, maybe one special episode could be that movie episode we were talking about.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
Maybe we can do one on.
It'll also help with the listeners being able to go, okay, cool. I know their specials are every 10 episodes. I'm only here for the gaming. I kind of sort of like these people, but they're a little wild for my taste. I don't want to listen to them be all chaotic for the next 2 hours. Let's not listen to the 10th episode.
Take offense
exactly.
to that statement.
Why would anyone like us?
I take offense to that statement. Nah, you're good.
So yeah, we got a lot of cool things coming up, and we got a lot of great ideas, and then that brings us into really the next topic of what we wanted to discuss, that being the Discord channel itself.
Oh yeah, the Discord channel. So me and Cowboy and Ranger, we all kind of I'll be honest, I'm not the most versed when it comes to setting up Discords, but I kind of set up this Discord, Astronaut Arcade Podcast, and I made a cool little logo for it, and we got this Discord, and we would really like y'all to join. Honestly, it's just going to be a big place where gamers from a lot of different backgrounds, a lot of different loves for different types of games come together and maybe introduce people to some of the games you like, and you try new things and get tips and tricks from people who are similar minded, and so the Discord. Whenever we post this episode, we will post a link to the Discord. We will send it out to everybody that we can get our hands on. We'll send it out, and you guys can join. There's a lot of different things in it. I'm looking at it as we speak. We got a whole section that's just dedicated to introducing yourselves, and there's a general section. We don't have any bots yet, but I'm currently working on bots, and I'll talk more to y'all about it later with the bots. We got a self-promotion section, so you are more than free to promote your Twitch and your YouTube and whatever crazy stuff y'all do nowadays. There's a whole section.
What the kids do nowadays.
What the kids do. I talk like I'm old or something. I'm not that old, but you know what everybody does now and then. There's a section dedicated to the podcast, and this is where, and let's be real, you guys are open to the audience coming in and telling us what we want, right? That's what we want?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We would definitely love to hear feedback, and we definitely want to hear about what y'all want to see in the show, what y'all want to talk about. And the more y'all talk to us, the more y'all tell us what you want, the better this show is going to get,
Yeah, and hearing what the community wants to hear is just a great way to not only have fresh content, but a great way for when we run out of stuff that, because let's be realistic, our information and our knowledge and our interests will eventually hit their peak, right? We will run out of things to talk about. The community is huge in making sure that we will constantly have something to say, and we will constantly have something to give the community that they want.
Yeah, I agree. And the way I have it set up so that can happen is we have an announcement section that's just for show announcements and things like that. We have a feedback section. And this is specifically for oh, you just heard an episode. What did you think about it? What are some things we could do better? What are some things you liked? You can also put ideas in there. There's a section underneath it that says ideas and suggestions. That's where you would say, hey, what if you guys did this topic on this episode? That'd be cool. And it'd be like, oh yeah, that'd be cool. And I'll be checking it often, and if I like an idea, I might go and I pin the ideas so that you guys, Ranger and Cowboy, y'all can see them. There's also a polls section, and like I said, I like my polls, y'all. I like my polls. All right, so I'll definitely make some polls. Like if there's a topic we can't decide between, maybe we'll have y'all pick, or There's a lot of different things we'll do. And then on the
Yeah,
new, yep.
our first poll is definitely going to be, is Pluto a planet? Because us old heads, that's what we grew up. There were 9 planets, so I don't know if y'all younger ones know about all that, but when we grew up, we were taught there were 9 planets and that Pluto
Okay,
was a
look,
planet.
he's just angry because I forgot to put Pluto on the bottom of the voice channels, and I'm too lazy to actually go and put it there. He just thinks that I don't like Pluto. I
I
love
didn't
Pluto.
even notice
All right, I
that.
was taught that Pluto was a planet too, and I'm just too lazy to go in the voice channel and change it. You can change the Discord if you want to add it. You are more than free to add it. All right.
No, we're gonna leave it to the masses.
Oh,
We're gonna let the
God.
people decide, is Pluto a planet?
You guys are not going to stop harassing me about that for like the next 20 episodes, aren't you?
Well, hey, when we do that
Maybe
poll,
10.
we can
Oh,
either
no.
add the planet that does exist out there on the end of our solar system to our voice channels, or we can call it whatever is currently being called. I don't know if it's a moon or if it's just a small
A dwarf
large
planet.
star or
All right, I'm a
something.
science person. It's a dwarf planet.
But there's still that key word at the end of it.
But
Okay, fine.
whatever the
Ugh.
community decides, we can either add that voice channel or we can add the not so planetary Pluto to the end.
Oh yeah. And it's great. We have a lot of cool things, and it's just gonna grow. I've been talking it over with Andromeda and Ranger, and me, I am a Discord nerd. I've ran multiple gaming communities, so Discord is something I'm very familiar with. So I'll have a lot of new stuff coming. We got a lot of cool, exciting things that I'm going to be adding to the server, and I think it's going to go over great. And I'm just happy to be here and help out. With the server and with the podcast, it's just a great experience.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm just excited. I'm just happy that we were able to get this started,
Oh, for sure.
Like I know, and I feel like it was sudden. I feel like I harassed y'all. Like I sent y'all a message, hey, do y'all want to be part of this really cool podcast I'm setting on? Let's do it. And I felt like I was harassing y'all, and y'all would be like, no, she's a weirdo. Let's stay away from her.
No, I mean from the first message, I was excited about this. I've been thinking about podcasts for a while. It's something I've been interested in, but just never really found the group to do it with. And I think this is absolutely the group.
We got you back, brother. We got you back.
I was very much the same when you messaged me that first time, because if I remember correctly, it was fresh off of my episode that I did with Raider in the Power World podcast, and you mentioned it in the Discord of, hey, I was thinking about possibly doing one too, and you messaged me directly like, hey, you were pretty good in that podcast. Would you like to co-host with me and maybe one other person? And I had to think about it for a second. I was like, is this something that I could do? Like, is it something that I could cut the time out of my week to be able to do? But outside of that, I was 100% interested. Like, I had to talk to my girlfriend about it, and sit down with her and be like, hey, so I need to put this into my schedule somewhere. Where is a day that we can sacrifice some time that I can do that? Before I actually responded to you and was like, yeah, that sounds great.
That's what took you so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took me, I think, Cowboy, I think it took me like 4 days or something to respond to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have replaced you while I had the chance.
Too late now.
I'm just joking.
Yep.
I'm joking. Like I said, I pick fun.
Yeah, she's stuck with us.
Don't get your panties in a bunch. All right. So real quick, the last little bit I want to tell you guys about, the last little section on our Discord is a gaming section. Of course, this is where you can ask questions, and hopefully we'll have a lot of people that play all the different consoles on here. You can ask questions, or maybe I'm gonna add. I don't have this on here yet. I'm gonna add a looking for groups section. That way, if someone wants to play with someone else, you guys can set up like a gaming date and all that jazz, and there's also this one idea I wanted to show you guys. I have another announcements section. It's called Gaming News, and I was thinking that whenever we do an episode, and let's say we sponsor a game, like next episode, if we do like just an example, Risk of Rain 2, I add the Risk of Rain 2 official servers announcements to the gaming news. And you can put multiple of them in a gaming news, right? I think. What do y'all think of that? Like every time we talk about a specific game, like we do like an episode about a specific game, I add their announcements to our gaming news announcements. What do y'all think?
Oh yeah, that sounds great. Because on my server we have channels specific to each game. So I went into a lot of these official servers and I followed their announcements. So I have access to a lot of them that I can easily just bring right over into the channel, into the server. Um, and yeah, I get constant Helldiver updates, Power World, Apex, Fortnite, Modern Warfare. We have all of those set up already, so it'll be easy to just switch it over to here for y'all to enjoy as well.
All right. That sounds perfect. And I will definitely work to try to get that set up and everything too. But anyways, is there any other ideas for the Discord or anything else you think I'm missing, y'all?
No, I mean I think where we are right now, I think is pretty well done. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we're right where we need to be, and I think our listeners are really going to enjoy what we have to offer.
Yeah, it's definitely very fleshed out for a first go around. Like, for those of y'all, I just want to shout out Andra real quick to all of our listeners. She has had a lot of life going on lately, but she still took a lot of time and effort to set up the Discord and to set up the podcast and to figure out what a good streaming time was. She put in a lot of work to making this happen, and I'm so glad that you actually were on top of all of that, because I know I've been dealing with a lot of life stuff and I didn't have the brain space for it. So, kudos to Andro. Everybody clap in your chairs.
Aw, shucks.
Yeah.
Thank you. For those of
Yeah.
y'all who don't know, if y'all don't mind me, basically I had a tornado, and this is a while ago, but I'm still suffering repercussions from it. It sucks. We had a tornado touch down near my house, and it didn't hit my house, but it was close enough to where it brought down a full-grown pine tree through my roof. And when I say insurance companies are giving me hell, they're giving me hell. They wouldn't. I called and talked to people, and for some reason, they didn't want to come and pay for my roof to get fixed and for my living room to get fixed, because it basically trashed my living room, and that was hell. And I finally got them to do what they're supposed to be doing, what I'm paying them to do. And the roof's fixed now, but we're still working on the paint and the all that stuff. So that was just, I'll be honest, it took me away from Power World for a while, and Power World Discord and all that stuff. But it's us pretty much write it out now, just a little bit touches here and there, and we should be good to go.
And she still found time for you, listener.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a quick boo for the insurance company, for dragging their feet, but it's definitely, I just had a tree fall on my car a couple weeks ago.
I'm so sorry.
And it's insurance won't cover it either because it was a natural disaster.
Just keep
even
calling.
Though it's not.
Keep calling them. They'll eventually.
Oh yeah.
That's what I did. I kept calling. I kept harassing them.
That's exactly. I mean, I work in automotive. I've been in automotive most of my life, so I mean, I'll get it. I'll definitely get them. But it's just I understand the struggle. It's pain.
Yeah.
So boo for insurance.
Yes. Well, I'm sure insurance is good at times, but sometimes it's people are a little stingy that way. But anyways, I think that's a good spot to end it off. What do y'all think?
I think so too. I think it was a great show. I think we did got our points across that we needed to make, and I'm excited to see where we go next week when we really kick things off.
Yeah, and again, I do apologize if I'm not the most articulate speaker, but I try my best to have a little bit of fun now and then, and just be honest and true and be myself, just like these wonderful gentlemen that are with me have probably been doing this whole time too, right?
Oh, I've never been called a gentleman before. No, we're Southern folk here, so I mean, not the best articulation.
Wait, hang on. We were supposed to be honest during this podcast.
Oh, wait,
that was not said to me beforehand. Hang on.
Yeah.
Nah.
No. We like to poke and like to have fun, and that's what we want to keep this podcast. We want to keep it light and fun, and just friendly. We want everyone to enjoy what we have to say, and we want to hear what others have to say.
Yeah, so absolutely.
I'm really looking forward to going on from here.
All right. Well, I think that's it for today. So, we'd like to thank all of you guys who are listening. I'm excited to meet y'all in the Discord, which we will be posting when we post this episode. Thank you guys for listening. We're always going to be glad to have you guys visit the Astronaut Arcade, where we take one small step for man and one giant leap for gamer kind. Y'all have an amazing day, and we will see you in the next episode.